Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and we're going to talk to Entergy today. There's some changes going on. They've done some great things over the last 2 years here on Bolivar. You can actually make it through Mother's Day weekend without power going out. And the best part is the communication, but some things are changing. I'm here with Michelle and Jim, and they've been our go-to when we needed to get information down here, but we've got some new people coming in, and we're going to be doing another show with them real quick. But I want to talk about hurricane season. I've done a show with Galveston County OEM, just about everyone, talking about what they do to get ready for hurricane season, but because when Beryl hit, it was phenomenal. In fact, that morning I told someone, oh, it's 7 to 10 days. But we were back on. It happened on Monday. We were back on Thursday night. It started in Highland, and by Friday at like 2 o'clock, we were back in full steam again. What's it take to do something like that, and what do y'all do ahead of time?
So Entergy is always thinking of storm readiness. That's one of our companies, one of the things we focus on year round. So it's not just a hurricane season event for us that we're thinking about getting prepared for storms. We're always responding to weather, be it a hurricane or be it some of the spring storms that we see, or as folks down here know, a winter ice storm. So that's a year-round posture for us, but particularly for hurricane season, our organizations go through storm training ahead of time, right before hurricane season, where we can play out a scenario of a hurricane approaching our area and how we would react and how the different groups and departments work with one another. There's also a lot of other preparation work like vegetation trimming. We'll go through areas with heavy vegetation, make sure a lot of the right-of-ways and that are cleared of vegetation to keep that from hitting on our lines, and just a lot of coordinated effort between the different departments that we have within our company to keep us storm ready and to ride through those storms without an outage.
What about equipment? Because I know during Beryl, I was here and we were blocked getting in. But as soon as the county moved the barricades off the road that TxDOT knows they don't hold during a hurricane, y'all had trucks down here, and it was like they were going out doing estimates and stuff. Is that sort of how you operate? Get the people in there to assess the damage, but you already had equipment staged, didn't you?
Well, one of the things we do that our Storm Command Center does when there is a storm approaching is they're constantly watching the track of the storm to see where it's going to impact the most. And then we move our resources, personnel, and equipment around to areas that are safe but close enough to be able to get in there as quickly as possible after the storm passes. And you're right, the very first thing that we do after every storm is we need to get out there and see what's damaged, so we know how much equipment to order, how much personnel to bring in, and all of the other things that go into the back end of a storm restoration to make all of that work possible. They can start preparing, because you may need more work in Bolivar, for example, but you may not need as much over in Orange County, where I work also. Right. So it just depends a lot on the track of the storm, where they move material and personnel to, but they're always looking at that and trying to get the most accurate placement of where the storm's going to come in and how that's going to affect and impact our systems.
In logistics, getting material down. I can remember one of the interviews we did with you, and I believe the guy that was over everything said that y'all had telephone poles coming from 2 different areas, and the ones coming down from the north actually got held up by the storm. Mm-hmm. So you had a second avenue to get poles in here.
Yeah, that's fairly common, where they'll be working parallel paths, particularly if you have a piece of equipment that may be a bottleneck as far as getting power back on. They're going to have multiple sources where they get equipment from, be it a transformer or a particular size of transformer, or in this case during Beryl, I think it was poles that they were looking for, really specific poles that they needed for the lines out here. And that was an area that they were looking at supplier, I think it was from Canada, if I remember correctly. Yep. And they were able to find some a little bit closer that they could get here quicker. But they're always running parallel paths as far as personnel, equipment, things that we need to get the lights back on as quickly as possible.
And Entergy serves the 4-state region, as you remember, so we have supplies in each of those areas that we can bring in.
Yeah, in fact, I think the poles came from Louisiana because the poles, and they were actually the fiberglass, I think, that were trying to get down here to replace those that were down there in Gilcrest. And I remember him saying he brought it, they came in from Louisiana. And so, what states? You said you have a 4-state area. What states do y'all cover?
Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas.
So if one state doesn't get it one year, usually one of the other states,
Yeah,
so
we're
you stay
gonna
busy,
get it
you're
one
going
way
to
or
get
the
it
other.
somewhere.
Yes, sir.
So
And that's important to mention too, David, that we rely on our other operating companies in those states to respond during storm. They send personnel our way when we need it, and vice versa. We'll send personnel there.
well, I think the suction truck was a subsidiary or something at one time when y'all were doing a job down here. Let's touch real quick on, and I'm going to throw this blindside you. Y'all are putting poles in different now, or some of the poles in different. What's the reasoning behind that?
So storm resiliency, I know that they're looking at different coastal standards. If you notice, when we did the big reliability project down here, the substations, this is an example, the substations we put in are now elevated way above the ground to keep all that equipment away from any surf that may wash over the road or wash into the area. So that's part of that storm hardening that we're looking at. For the poles, I know they're using caissons and other methods to mount them further down into the soil so they're a little bit more hurricane resilient.
Is that what it is, and they can replace them quicker?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Entergy's really stepped up their game down here on Bolivar Peninsula over the last couple years. They did their big resilience project, got us a lot more power. It's a loop system now, if I'm not mistaken, where they can, if one area goes out, it used to be if it went out on the east end, the whole peninsula was out. And they've changed that now to where they can backfeed and go around the problem area so that the whole peninsula is not out. And so for myself, Team Bolivar, I want to thank y'all. And the communications, knock on wood, has been phenomenal. In fact, during Burl, I can tell you every morning at about 9 o'clock, I got a call from Jim letting me know what they were doing. And when we ran out of gas and had to get gas down here, he actually asked me to go out and take a picture of the problem area so that they knew exactly what they needed to bring down to fix the problem so we could get gas, because one time we were actually out of gas for generators here. But Entergy stepped up, got it done, and by 2 o'clock we had gas back on the peninsula. So for myself and everyone, I want to thank y'all for everything. I know I will never throw y'all's phone numbers away. So if I can't get hold of one set, I can always call another set to get an answer. But thank you for everything, and thank you for the communication that's really has brought everything together, I think, in the last 2 years.
And thank you for everything that you've done to help us.
I love it. I love my job.
A supporter of Entergy, and we really appreciate that, David.
Great. Well, we're going to head on out. We'll be back with a new crew coming in to keep us informed and let us know exactly what's going on our power system. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye. Thank you to these 2026 video equipment sponsors. Crystal Beach Decor and More, located at 1959 Highway 87. Beachy Beatnik Boutique, located at 970 Surfside and Highway 87. And Latitude 29 Surf Shop, located at 1400 Highway 87. Thank you to these area businesses for being our 2026 video equipment sponsors for Bolivar Live.